Hello, Paul here from PRwilsonmedia. A very warm welcome to Social Media Essentials. In my experience, most businesses understand and are fully aware of the benefits, but they struggle with how to use social media. In this video presentation, I'll focus on best practice techniques and tips to help you and your business get the most out of social media. This presentation and the slides were originally delivered to the Business Club Lincoln on the 5th of January 2015. My co-presenter Justin Widdop of Choose Purple is unavailable for this video, but I'll walk through the slides that he covered, and I'll also do practical demonstrations of the points being made. So here's the agenda. The focus is very much on LinkedIn and Twitter, as for those in business networking, those two are the primary platforms for growing your business and raising your profile. In the section Best of the Rest, we'll have 5 tips for 5 other platforms: Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram and YouTube. We'll talk through some opportunities coming up for training over the next few months, and then in the final section I'll show you some helpful resources alongside this video. There are all the other videos on the YouTube channel and various documents and ebooks that you can access. Let's get started. And it's LinkedIn and profile. The number one area that you must address in LinkedIn is your profile, your personal business profile. You need it completed because that's the cornerstone of all of your activity on LinkedIn. The more information you share, the easier it is for other business contacts to find you and connect with you, and the more opportunities you have to find new leads and get in touch with your customers. Now, there are 2 particular aspects of your profile that I've highlighted here: the headline and multimedia. Firstly, the headline. Now you can see there's a head and shoulders shot, my name in bold. It's this area here underneath. This is your headline description, and what's key about that is that every time you put a message on LinkedIn, you share some content, you're in a discussion, that headline travels with you. So rather than leave as a default, which would be when you sign up, you work at, you're the owner at, etc., you need to change it to something meaningful with some keywords that represent the skills that you have. So I've split mine into professional speaker, social media trainer. There are many ways you can do it, but the key is to make use of that opportunity. Here I am in my profile. Select profile, edit profile. And if you click over the name, then there's a headline. So I can just click on the pencil icon and make changes. Notice there's see what others in your industry are using, so you can see examples of other people with a similar profile. There's a basic: consulting, entrepreneur. They haven't made the full opportunity. In this case, somebody has. She's put stars in between to highlight her key points. That really is a 5-minute job at most, and well worth doing. The second thing you can do to enhance your profile is use multimedia content. Here you can see in my summary section just 2 or 3 short paragraphs and then various visual images. Now that's actually a link to a video. That's a link to one of the pages on my website. These are links to articles. You can have PowerPoint presentations. There are many possibilities. Here's how you can add that content. So here I am in edit profile mode. I scroll down, I click on the pencil again in the right sections. But here are 2 buttons. One is to add a video, image, document or presentation, and the other is to rearrange the file. So if I click on that, there's 2 options. I can add a web link, or select the button Upload a File. Let's select Upload File. I'll browse to the desktop where I've got this PowerPoint presentation available. Select Open. There's a presentation loaded. You can give it a title and description and then save. And notice this can also connect to your SlideShare account. You can choose what section you add it to, so either the summary section or a particular role. I can now launch that SlideShare. First you get a preview and you can click through the entire slide set. So very useful feature. Now once you've got your profile set up, it's time to start making connections. And the two tips that I'll highlight for LinkedIn connections are really to show how you can organize them better and how you can make use of the connections you already have. Now on LinkedIn, there are first level, second level and third level connections. A first level connection is somebody that you've directly connected with. Second level is a friend, a business contact of somebody that you're connected with. And the third level is a connection of one of those connections. A friend of a friend, if you like. What you can see on the left hand side is the profile of one of my connections. But take a look just below. There are two important tabs: Relationship and Contact Info. Now when you first make a connection, it'd be useful to be able to remember where you met that person and then perhaps set a little reminder about what it is you want to get in touch with them about. Well, as you can see, relationship is the place to do it. There's a note section, a reminder section where you can say in a day, in a week, in a month to get in touch with that person. And what LinkedIn does is send you an email and have it there in your connections so you're prompted every time you go to your connections. You can also state how you met them, and then there's tagging. Tagging is where you can put a label onto that particular person to help you organize and filter through your connections. So here I've put a label, links chamber. There are more that I'll demonstrate when we go to that connection shortly. But then you can list them just by those people in that particular group. Here I am in my connections. You can see there's a reminder there as an example. Let's find Adrian Harvey. Now you can search by recent conversation, last name, first name, or new. Or you can obviously type in the name of the particular connection. Okay, there he is. And I'll just bring up those same tabs. So relationship, reminder, which I've now cancelled, tags, and you can see I can allocate him to any particular one of these lists. Let's say LinkedIn training as well. And now if I go back to connections, under the filter by, you can filter by tag. So for this presentation I could filter by Business Club Lincoln members, and that would only list contacts who are members of that business club. There's Adrian in the list. One possible use would be if you wanted to send a message to all of the people in a particular tagged list. So you could select all, click message, and every one of those connections is now listed in the message area. So when that subject goes out, it would go out to all of those people. Now returning to the slide, here at the bottom you can see get contact emails and advanced settings. Because if you've been on LinkedIn a while, Adrian's got 108 connections, but many people have over 500. Not everyone's aware that you can simply export all of your connections to a comma separated value, a CSV Excel spreadsheet in one simple maneuver. This is how it's done. You click on connections. Here on the right hand side you can see the settings cogwheel. Click on that. Under advanced settings, click on export LinkedIn connections. Export to, the default is the Outlook CSV format. If you have a Mac, you could use that option. Click export. You'll be prompted to confirm the security verification check, so 158 in this case. And the download should start. And here it is. There, in one spreadsheet, you can see there's a number of columns that are empty, but the job role and the email address is all there. You can even import that either into your Outlook address book or even email newsletter services such as MailChimp. The other thing finally to note about connections is that each connection you have, you can also see how many shared connections you have with that person. So here, out of the 108 connections Adrian has, 71 are shared. So that indicates to me that Adrian is a very close contact, useful contact. So I'd also look at other things such as what groups he's in. We'll talk about that shortly. My third best practice tip is around LinkedIn search. Now, all social media platforms have search engines. There's the advanced search options where you can search for two words together. You can search for particular locations. You can search for very specific keywords. And LinkedIn gives you the opportunity, in addition to the searches you do, to actually save up to 3 for people and up to 10 for jobs. And then you'll be notified by LinkedIn whenever there are changes, there are additional people who've been found by that search. Now, in practical terms, if you have a particular field of expertise, social media, marketing, training in this example, you can search for anybody new who's come into that area. So look at competition. You can also look at opportunities, job opportunities coming up for social media training, for example. Here on the right hand side is the email alert that I've received seeing any new jobs that match that particular search criteria. So let's show you how you set up one of these searches. And down the left hand side you can search by keyword, name, last name, company, school, location. Let's use a practical example. So we're looking for the keywords business networking to see what other business networking groups there are in the local area. Notice if I put it in quotation marks, that means the exact phrase match. Under location, instead of anywhere, I can say located in or near. I'll select this country, postcode area for Lincoln, and say within 50 miles, and click search. 1700 plus results returned, so we could narrow it down further to a smaller geographical range, let's say 10 miles. And now we have 81. The results would show people who are your first level connections currently, and then further down there'll be people you may not yet know. Now then you can select Save Search, and you can type in the timing of the alert, so weekly or monthly, and just select the tick box. And there it's set. So for these previous people searches, any new results will be shown here, and you'll also receive those emails on that basis. Note that job searches can be on a daily basis as well as weekly and monthly. If you have the LinkedIn Premium Edition, you are allowed more searches So that might be a consideration. But generally speaking, the key is to use all three opportunities you have at any one time to do saved searches, because it really does provide you with invaluable information. LinkedIn groups. You can be a member of up to 50 LinkedIn groups. These discussion groups give you the chance to see other people with a common interest and join in the conversations. It's also a great way to introduce yourself to people who aren't yet a first level connection without having to send a formal connection request. In the example here on the left, in the Business Club Lincoln, I'm sending a short message of introduction to a second level connection. Then that person could choose to suggest we connect, send a connection request back to me, or reply, or not. But the key thing is that you have an informal way to say hello. Let's take a look at that now. Here's a list of the groups that I'm a member of. Some have the padlock icon to indicate that you have to be approved to join, and some are open groups. But if we go to the Business Club one, and I click on 76 members, or I can click here on members to get the same result, it will actually show you everybody who's currently in that group. Starting with your first level connections. But if I scroll down and go to the final page, these are all second level connections, yet I can still select send a message. So I could just send a message and also include other people. Could send it to a few people. If you're new in an area and there's a fairly big networking group you've joined, you can introduce yourself. The other tip here is to create your own group. Whatever your subject area, in my case social media training, if you have a authority, expertise, there are so many more things you can do as group manager. You can send invitations to your connections. You can moderate the content that's put in there and what people can say. And you can learn all about the most effective ways to use groups for your business. So you can see I can manage within my group, see any requests to join and approve those. I can send invitations out to my connections. You can just type in letters and you should get all the connections matching those letters, either in first or surname. You can select multiple people to invite and then just click send invitations when you're ready. In any group, whether you are an administrator or just a member, you can see information clicking on this I button, and you can see group statistics about the kind of people who are in the group. Information about demographics, level of activity, and how the members have grown over time. So to create a group, you just simply go to this option and create a group. Add a logo, files, acknowledge that you're responsible for that logo, choose a type of group, professional group, networking group, and you can add more than one administrator from your company to look after the group. The final LinkedIn tip is LinkedIn company pages. So you have your personal profile, but you can create a separate page dedicated for your business information. And as you can from a personal profile, you can add updates as the company. One of the best features of a company page is that in your experience statement you can have that company page listed and someone can hover over it and see the page information. If you want to grow the audience for your company page, a great tip is to follow the company pages of your connections. Here, for example, Joanne Wilson from Fill the Gap. If I click on her company page option there and choose the yellow follow button. And notice also I can see other people who work for the company, whether they're first, second level connections, even employees there, which could certainly be useful if you're looking for a particular department within a company and who to contact. So company pages work by people following, and you can look at the page followers of your company page and see whether it's other people you can follow back, what companies they're associated with, and it gives you some statistics about them. And here I can click on the 22 followers and see these basic follower insights and all the analytics. So it tells you when you produce an update from a company how many people, how many impressions and clicks you've seen, and any levels of engagement. And if you update as a company page, other people who work in the company can share it on their own personal profile. So it's more effective than just updating from you as a person. If you haven't got a company page, I'd highly recommend, presuming you're the official owner of that company, that you create one. Interests, companies, click on the yellow create button, and as you'll see, you're required to specify the email address, company name, and verify you're the owner. Only one email domain per company. So you can't use email addresses such as Hotmail or Gmail. It has to be an @domain name. So mine, for example, is paul@prwilsonmedia.com. One page website with all the essential information available to your connections.